Hey, what's up? It's AP Experiment back at it again with some XDefiant ranked. Now, this was just my second game, um, and I thought, you know what? Let me try to actually use GSK, um, just because I hadn't used GSK at this point. Uh, these two videos that you have been seeing, the video yesterday and this one here, were my first two games of the actual season one. I had not played the first day just because I was busy doing other things and handling other business. Um, so these were my first two games. So the first game being the game in which I used the hijack faction that I have been using all of preseason, and their DedSec faction, I'm sorry, that I've been using all preseason just to kind of prep. And then now this is going to be my first video using GSK. I hadn't exactly set up my classes specifically around ranked. I know I definitely I should have. So this is me actually using an MP7. I kind of made on the fly. This was a very impromptu class. This wasn't really me focused on making a class for ranked. It was just kind of like an impromptu class that I slapped together really quick. And I really have to have a love for zone control, because no matter how crazy or hectic ranked gets, zone control and escort for that part, the progressive modes really do come down to team efficiency. So as long as the team is efficiently holding the point and keeping the opposite team from getting the point, these games are actually a lot faster than domination, which is always good. It's always good to see. It's always definitely fun to see. I definitely appreciate how concise and quick these games can get when a team is working efficiently and trying to really hold the other team from getting the objectives. I've definitely have noticed that it still seems that Phantoms are the most popular faction. I definitely haven't seen a shift or change in that meta of the game. Obviously, their 125 health compared to everyone else's is very, very solid. Even though GSK, I believe, has 2-shot headshots. So even when a sniper shoots me in the head, it is a 2-shot, not a 1-shot, which is very, very dope. And that's just from the fact that the devs designed, since the GSK faction is a helmet wearing faction, they decided to implement that as their minor passive, which I thought was a very good detail. It's a very cool detail, as GSK comes from Rainbow Six. It's very solid. I can't wait to see, as we move along through these seasons, what else they think of to throw in here and what other cool game based traits and passives they come up with. They, as you can see, they easily got B, so I thought they were gonna actually kind of catch some sort of momentum here, because normally when the team gets B, they start actually really catching a momentum. I kept throwing down my trophy system because I was expecting more grenades to get thrown, but it actually seems that maybe because the ADS has come out, it seems that there's been, at least in the games that I've played, it's a lot more passive as far as the throwing of grenades. It doesn't seem as common as it was prior to the season starting. Because prior to the season starting, flashes were thrown out a lot, grenades, frags, especially, were thrown out a lot. Now I'm starting to see a lot more proximity mines. I'm starting to see almost no frags getting thrown, no sticky grenades, which is very interesting. I actually expected the quota of throwing things to be kind of continued, but I guess it seems that that's kind of slowed down, at least for the moment, at least in the games that I've been in. I might end up getting games later that make me retract that statement, but at the current moment, that's basically what I'm seeing. I'm basically really seeing a lot more gun-based gameplay, a lot more focus on things. I love the way that ranked was explained. They had the former professional and now I want to say game dev. I believe he does work closely with the dev team. Aches explained the overall workings of ranked and how it is win based, which I expected, but there is a solo part to it. You do get you do get RP for both kills and playing the objective, which is good for someone like me who normally is, lacking in the kills department. However, my objective time is always very solid. Um, as well as I think he said it also factors in where you fall on the leaderboard on how much RP you get. Um, I believe at this current moment I am sitting at like 45 RP because I end up, well, as you'll see in this, but we end up winning this game. So I go on a 2-game win streak because this was my second game of ranked, and then in my third game, the team basically fell apart. I didn't even record that game just because of how bad it was. The team really just that team really just fell apart, and we had a teammate who was very kill heavy but not very big on playing the objective, but was just on the mic being toxic. It's just it wasn't a vibe. It was very, very disturbing. Luckily I was on the phone at the time. I was really enjoying a conversation with a good friend of mine while I played the game. Shout out to Steel Series for having headphones that allow me to also Bluetooth to my phone, so I was able to hold that conversation while I was playing the game, which really allowed me to handle that toxicity a lot better than I probably would have had I really just been playing the game and listening to music or something. I probably would have tried to clap back, and it would have turned into an ordeal. I would have been frustrating myself for no reason. I did end up sending out a report for him being toxic, because as much as I normally just try to take these things on the chin and be like, okay, it's just part of gaming, it's just being obnoxious is so stupid. Like, I get it, yes, everyone has a right to their opinion and their view, but when you're talking about, oh, my team is useless, and you have the second to least amount of objective time in an escort game mode, where if the 4 of us were to get on the robot together, it moves faster. That really makes me question things, especially since he really was coming for me specifically, as my stick drift was getting me completely fried. I think I was doing horrible. I think I did like 4 and 26 at the end of the game, but I had almost double the objective score he did, which is to say, literally, I was going for the win. He was going for kills. So that doesn't make any sense. Yes, I understand that the playstyles play off of each other and that they need each other, but if you're going to complain about the team not helping, then your objective score should be much closer to the person you were trying to call out. So the fact that my objective score was almost double his, which means I basically more or less was dying for the team's sake, it really makes me question like where a thought process like that to just call someone out kind of comes from. I was really loving how smooth this game went, especially because it seemed like we had these team figured out. I don't know if they end up having people leaving. I really wasn't checking the leaderboards like that, but it seemed like they weren't exactly on the same page, and they didn't really set up parameters like I'm so used to seeing when it comes to Meltdown. When I'm used to seeing on Meltdown, there's a lot of people on the bridge or that upper barn area and kind of just doing things, but we seem to get the smooth dub there. As you can see, 30.8 to 30.2. We held them out in the beginning, which kind of made it easy to win in the end, and that is what I truly love about zone control. It's such a great useful game mode. But it has been AP Experiment, and I'll catch you in the next one.